Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday to you. Mark again here, Weatherman Plus. Now, I'm going to give you the updates on the tropics as well as the severe weather. We got a little bit of severe weather today, not super big. And we do have this 10% over here in the Atlantic. Don't worry about this. It's always showed it was just going to go out to the Atlantic Ocean. No big deal. But now we're up to 70% on this 5 days and 40% in the next 48 hours. Now, the winds are not showing too strong, but it's still a big, heavy rain threat that you do need to prepare for. Okay, it will be a lot of flash flooding. And yesterday we did have 6 tornadoes. We had one for Illinois, and we had a bunch for southeast Kansas right below Wichita, but we actually had 2 that was in Florida that wasn't even on the radar scope. And this was put out by Nick Cross at Nick Cross. Link in the description for everything I show you. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, make sure you follow me because I've been posting all these updates as soon as I get them all day long. And this was a beautiful capture right below the funnel in Florida. It was a really nice capture. So good capture, Nick. It's actually pretty beautiful. But you can go watch the whole video all the way through. It really was a nice capture that he did get of this. So it was a beautiful and good grab. Good job, man. And this was a beautiful picture taken by Orbound Images in Oklahoma yesterday. And this was taken of an awesome outflow bomb. Just look at that system roll. A lot of heavy rain, but that actually is a beautiful picture if you ask me. So all the weather lovers out there, you really ought to love that shot. So real quick, I'm going to go through your severe weather, then I'm going to go through the tropical outlook for you. So remember, all the links are in the description to help save you time. Before today, you will have thunderstorms and all this green. There is a little tornado threat. We have a 2% chance. And there is expected some winds all the way from Texas all the way to the northeast, as well as some hail. There is some hail expected from Texas all the way to northern Arkansas. But your tornado threat for today is Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Lubbock, Texas, Norman, Oklahoma, Wichita Falls, Texas, and Lawton, Oklahoma. Now, as you go through this morning, you will have this line of storms that will go all the way into the Ohio Valley and start dissipating as you go through noontime. But then it's going to start picking up for the South Central, where you have your severe weather threat for today, all the way to 10 o'clock. And I'll show you in the 48 hour of the high resolution rapid refresh at the end of the video how this just stays a cloud of thunderstorms and travels to Oklahoma for tomorrow. But you can see how it dissipates for the Ohio Valley today, but it stays around for the northeast. And those storms will start coming in from New York early this morning, but it'll start picking up a little bit more for later on for northern Jersey, eastern Pennsylvania, a little bit of New York, Connecticut, and some of Vermont. And it is getting some nasty little cells going through there, but you don't have no tornado threat. But after you go from 9 to 10 o'clock, it's about it of the storms, because after this, it dissipates quite quickly. But you do have some storms passing through and some potential winds. But for your tornado risk for today, you do have some storms that do pass by, and they started getting a little bit of shear on these cells as they pass by around 10 o'clock this morning. And you can see it's not much shear. It's pretty much a touch and go, but it does get a little strength as you go towards noontime for today for Oklahoma as those pass by. And as you go through later on, when it pops right back up for Texas, you get some strong cells going through western Texas. They don't have a whole bunch of shear on them, but there is some shear on those cells as they pass through afternoon from 7 o'clock all the way to 10 o'clock, and it starts going down from there. But you do have a nasty little cell that is getting some shear on it, so you just need to be aware of that as that passes through for this evening. But as the afternoon goes along, you will get some cells that will come from southern Missouri that will pop into northeastern Arkansas. And it is getting some shear on that cell as well as it passes through all evening long to about 7 o'clock. Then the shear really weakens down greatly. So you really have a little bit of a threat of a touch and go where you could get a possible tornado out of that. Just be aware. And you can see when you check your helicity values, which is your wind direction, change or height, exactly what a strong cell, what a potential tornado can be, that you started getting around 5 p.m. northeast Arkansas. You started getting a trail of a possible strong cell, as well as one coming from southeast New Mexico coming into western Texas. So to me, the rest of these don't pop up as a potential tornado, but these 2 cells look like they would be the strongest that you have for your potential. It is a 2%. And you can see they're also bringing up some wind gusts with them. So you definitely have a chance from anywhere from 50 to 60 miles per hour wind gusts. That's what that red is. But you really get into 70 once you get into that brown. But that one over Arkansas looks like it has potential for 80. So just be aware that that strong cell right there has a chance for over 70 miles per hour wind gusts as that passes by. And then it slows down, but it still goes into western Tennessee with some 50 miles per hour wind gusts. Definitely high 40s. That orange is 50. And the cells that's going from Oklahoma towards Arkansas, you can see it also has some 50 and possible 60 miles per hour wind gusts. But for the panhandle of Texas, that one actually has 70, almost up to 80 miles per hour wind gusts in that cell coming from northwestern Texas, right in the panhandle. And that pops up at 5 o'clock all the way to 7 and 8 o'clock. So just be aware you do have some high winds that's coming with that storm cell as the warm temperatures heat up, gets a lot of instability, and that cold front comes down. It will create these storms. And so far, it's showing up to 80, a good chance. Definitely going to be in the 60s and maybe 70s. But you can also see for the Ohio Valley in the center of the U.S., there's not really a lot of winds coming your way. So anywhere from northern Ohio could start getting to 40 and 50 miles per hour wind gusts with these cells as it passes through. Also for western Pennsylvania, you can get up to the 40, even a possibility of a low 50s for it, and western New York. You do have chances for 40 to 50 miles per hour wind gusts as you go all the way to 9 o'clock tonight. Everybody else is pretty low on the winds. And you can also see the winds do carry into Canada as well. So you do have some chances for 40 to 50 miles per hour wind gusts up there as well. And just a little quick update on what it is like over there in Canada. When we get a tornado warning over here for the U.S., a tornado watch actually is a warning for them. So just be aware that y'all do have some high winds coming your way as well. And it will be bringing some lightning with it. So pretty much the hail threat will be for Texas and some of Oklahoma as you go through the evening. Then it will carry into a little bit of western Arkansas and northern Louisiana as it dies down later tonight. And you can see for the east that it don't really have the hail threat. You will have the lightning and the thunderstorms. That's what this is your lightning. But you don't have a lot of white in these storms as you go all night long. So it really is going to be for the south central for your chances for the hail. But you do have the flash flood chance all the way until tomorrow morning. It'll start adding up, especially for Oklahoma, for over 2 inches of rainfall. Still showing an inch or a little more for western Missouri and a little bit for the western Texas where you saw those cells pop up. And as you go all the way till Friday, it'll start adding up a little bit more for the northeast as well, bringing about a ½ an inch across the Ohio Valley. But the northeast really is where you got the most chances for the heavy rainfall all the way till Friday morning. A little over an inch for eastern Pennsylvania, northwestern and southwestern New Jersey, as well as upstate New York and Vermont. And you can see that here, National Weather Service has put out a marginal for flash flooding for today, but you're in a slight risk in this yellow for Texas and Oklahoma. As you go through tomorrow, you do have the tornado threat for tomorrow, a little 2%. I will go through that in the morning, but you do have a marginal for the flash flooding as well. But once you go through day 3, this is where it starts picking up for the tropics, and you actually have a marginal in Florida as well as a big slight risk for flash flooding for Friday. And Saturday, it will continue for southern Florida for your slight risk for flash flooding. And also for the tropics, I will check again at the end of the video, see if there's any update. But so far, it's at 70% in the next 5 days and 50% in the next 48 hours, guys. And this is going to bring a lot of rainfall for sure. Now, this will be disorganized showers and thunderstorms. And I saw a lot of people ask, why does it get a different name? It's because it loses its circulation when it goes over landmass. And then when it gets the circulation back, whatever it's at is where it's going to get the new name, and that's where it's going into the Atlantic. So next name will be Alex. I even saw a funny comment, somebody saying, oh, now we're getting transgender storms, which was pretty hilarious. But the official report from National Hurricane Center, environmental conditions appear marginally conducive for gradual development. And this system is likely to become a tropical depression by the weekend as it moves northeastward into the northwestern Caribbean Sea, southeastern Gulf of Mexico, and crosses the Florida Peninsula. Regardless of the development, locally heavy rainfall is likely across portions of southeastern Mexico, the Yucatan Peninsula, Guatemala, and Belize during the next couple of days, spreading across western Cuba, southern Florida, and the Florida Keys on Friday and Saturday. That's where I showed you all that flash flooding. So interest in the Yucatan Peninsula, western Cuba, and the Florida Keys and the Florida Peninsula should monitor the progress of this system. If you're in southern Florida, I'll show you your area. You should definitely, if you need to get sandbags or any kind of materials, you should go get that while you can early, before the rush, before any price gouging, because flash flooding is a serious thing if it's too much rain at one time. No matter how much you need, too much rain at one time will cause a lot of problems. As well as just 10% over here on disturbance 2. It's not going to do anything, guys. But you can see for your area who is really in the cone. But it's all the way up to right below Spring Hill, a little above Titusville. So all y'all are in the chances for this cone for rainfall and some possible winds. And it is all of Florida as well as northwestern Bahamas. You're in that cone as well. Now, I took myself out the shot so you can see this. This was posted by Jake Karstens at Twitter. And it shows all developments that we had in the last 4 years, all hurricane season. So if you want to check this out and see exactly what's going on and when these storms actually popped up and when it was bad. We did have some bad ones for this season, and it did get rougher as the season went along. So if you want to recap and go through this, the link is in the description for you to check this out. Now, the official tracks from National Hurricane Center shows literally in 4 days, the system could be right here, right on the coast. Could be a little bit lower on this track, but regardless, within 4 days, this system will be somewhere in this area. And by 5 days, it would already be going by y'all. So you do need to prepare for any kind of measurements you need to take for heavy rainfall, definitely, and maybe some high winds. And the cold front is going to interact with this storm. Just like we've been watching with the trough and the shear and the cold front, it will interact. Now, the 0Z on the Euro confirms that all the winds is still going to be east side loaded for southern Florida and western Bahamas. And it does stay weak. As you see, it is staying real weak. And then when it crosses, it still says it's going to strengthen up to a strong tropical storm right off the coast of South Carolina as it moves away, still going to a hurricane. So far it's no really impacts, but North Carolina, we still need to stay on page of this because something could change just a little bit according to the Euro track, and it could go a little bit closer, and we don't want any surprises. And you can see here with your streamlined winds that it's all going from the southwest to the northeast. As you get in this cold front coming in, it is bringing this big dip, which is also going to make it that trough and give you that wind shear. But it does keep it a little more southern track. Remember, yesterday it was a little northern. That's why it went closer towards shore. Today it's a little more southern. That's why it's not going so close. It has to follow these streamlined winds. And the Euro confirms that once again it strengthens up as it leaves over Florida and heads out to the east northeast, with that cold front keeping it away. And you can see the look of that with the wind shear as well. It keeps a lot of shear on it with that trough, and it just keeps it weak all the way till it crosses Florida. Then it starts strengthening up. So all that shear will keep it very weak, but everybody that is on the east side and the south side of this storm will be getting the winds and the rain as it passes by. So just be aware of that. And just to compare, the Canadian model is showing also it will take a little bit more of a northern track, still be a tropical depression, but all the winds will be for southern Florida and western Bahamas as this passes by. And this shows it goes right out. It don't even take the streamlines to the north. And that's because it shows on a Canadian model, GFS as well, that cold front isn't going to make that much of a trough. So it's not going to be an extreme high ridge to the southeast of the U.S. It's literally going to be more of an eastern push than a northern push. And you can see this here on the GFS. As it goes by, it still takes that eastern upper level low, not that western. These two kind of combine a little bit together. But with the shear, it tries to form up on that eastern upper level low. Still brings winds towards the Florida Keys and the southern tip of Florida as it goes by, bringing more winds over western Bahamas as well. And it's bringing that rainfall as it continues to move east. And you can see with the streamlines of the GFS that it is pushing west to east, that trough is not going to catch up in time, and it's not going to be no northern push. The northern push all the way to the southeast was all the way by the Euro. And the Euro is a great model, but just because it's a Euro, don't make it correct, guys. And when the models never agree, you always go by what's trending. And the trend is that northern push is not going to be there. But it will be bringing a lot of rainfall. This is what it's going to look like as you go by the second and the third. It's going to start bringing heavy rainfall on the eastern side of this storm. Then as you go towards the fourth, it's going to bring even more rainfall towards Florida, towards western Bahamas. This is late on the third, but it's bringing heavy precipitation at this point, which will cause a lot of flash flooding. On the fourth, it's going to be moving by the Florida Keys, bringing heavy rainfall still, including the western Bahamas. And as it goes to leave through the northern Bahamas on the fifth, it's still going to be bringing more rainfall, and we have more remnants from that other upper level low that will be swinging by as well, bringing more rainfall to the Bahamas. But once again, with the GFS, you can see also that even though it's not going to be that big of a trough, that it still has all that wind shear on it, so it still will keep it weak. If anything, this will be a strong tropical depression, and that's at best. And it tried showing some pretty strong chances of maybe trying to get to a tropical storm on the 18Z late last night. So got this shot right here so you can see that the core of this storm only stays warm up to the 450 millibars. So it don't have a lot of strength in it as well. And you can see that it's tilted. That's confirming that this shear is going to be banging on this thing as it passes by. It will not form, guys. It will be a weak system. It will be a tropical depression. But I thought you'd maybe want to see the shot showing that the warmth of this core of this system, it don't go super high. It goes to 450 millibars. And that is a pretty shallow core vortex. And you can see the update on the 6Z on the GFS that it continues to say it will stay sheared off, take that eastern track, and the storms will be more northern as it goes across Florida. But at the same time, you can see all this is off of this system. It is getting sheared greatly. It will not be able to strengthen until it gets away from that shear. But it still will bring all this to the Bahamas as well as it goes out to the east. This will not be going to the coast. So here we are with a live look as it's starting to move and get all these thunderstorms around it. And this will start bringing the rainfall literally in a couple of days. And you can see the difference. Within 3 days, according to the Euro, is going to bring heavy rainfall to the Western Caribbean. Within 5 days, it's going to be all across Florida into the Atlantic Ocean, and it's going to be bringing heavy rainfall to Florida, Florida Keys, and the Bahamas. GFS is saying in 3 days, it will be in the Florida Keys, and in 5 days, it will be going out more to the east, bringing more heavier rainfall to the northern Bahamas. So according to the GFS, which within 3 days, you could already be having over 6 inches of rainfall in the Florida Keys and starting to gather up more for Florida, up to 3 inches on the west and east side of the southern tip. And then in 5 days, it will cross over towards northern Bahamas, and it'll start bringing heavy rainfall towards northern Bahamas and even more heavier rainfall towards southern Florida, because it's going to keep bringing these storms and the remnants after. Over 10 inches for Miami is your update this morning, and that's within the next 5 days. In the next 3 days is going to be a couple inches to maybe a few inches. The next 5 days is going to be very heavy. So please, if you need to get any kind of sandbagging or just get certain things out of the way, it will be too much rain at one time. And it's really pinpointing that Homestead, Key Largo, y'all going to be getting the heaviest. Almost a chance for a foot of rainfall. And the Euro, which takes the northern track, and is starting to trend a little more that it's not going to take that northern track, is bringing heavy rainfall to the Western Caribbean also, as well as the Yucatan, 4 inches. And it's only bringing 3 inches to the Florida Keys and Cape Coral in 5 days when it finally goes all the way by. It's not a whole bunch for northern Bahamas, 2 to 4 inches, but it is bringing way more towards Florida and covering more land. So it's bringing 4 to 6 inches all across Florida, mostly from Tampa on down. Gets heavy from Sarasota down. On the eastern side is from Cocoa, getting 4 inches and down, and some by Daytona and Daytona Beach. But at the same time, if you do the whole track through, you'll see it's not really affecting the coast of North Carolina just yet. And that is by the Euro, because GFS says it's going to go out to the east. A lot of models are showing it's going to go out to the east. And it will be bringing winds as well. 30 to almost 40 miles per hour wind gusts according to the Euro for the Western Caribbean, getting to 40 miles per hour wind gusts, almost 50 for the Keys within the next 3 days. And once you go to 5 days, you can see the path of who's getting all these heavy winds. Northern Bahamas, you're definitely going to be into the 40 and possibly 50 miles per hour wind gusts. And also where you got all the flooding coming to southern Florida, up to 40 miles per hour wind gusts. And it is a lot stronger right off the coast. But it's not really affecting anybody else, even on the Euro track going all the way through. You might get high 30s to maybe 40 miles per hour wind gusts along the coast. This has been slowly and gradually moving more and more offshore. I really don't think that trough is going to bring it to the north, guys. And the GFS, which takes that eastern track, shows it even less of a threat on the winds. Even a full 5 days takes maybe 40 miles per hour wind gusts through the Florida Keys and going through the Bahamas. And only 30 miles per hour wind gusts for southern Florida. So, of course, I like the GFS track better. To me, it seems like it's trending more on what the GFS is saying. I will stay updated on you. But no matter which way this goes, guys, if anybody tells you not to worry about this, you tell them that you have a lot of rainfall coming. The winds look like it's staying offshore, but all this rainfall of maybe even a foot, even according to the Euro, which a lot of people love no matter what you tell them, that's very dangerous. So I didn't get the track yet, but you got the Florida Keys, and I will update you when you get the track. But all the way from West Palm Beach, all the way across to Fort Myers and Cape Coral, no matter what, y'all getting heavy rainfall, including the Florida Keys. That's GFS and Euro. And GFS is taking it a lot heavier towards southern tip of Florida. Now, according to the Euro, it's going all the way up to right by Daytona Beach, all the way across to where you got it right above Tampa and St. Petersburg. So just be aware, Euro is showing heavier rainfall for all of y'all up here, where GFS is saying it's only going to be for down here, but it is going to be extreme. So no matter what someone else tells you, please take my advice. Please share this information to other people in Florida so they can get prepared for this. Because even though you need rain, this is way too much rain at too quick of a time. We're talking within a 24 to 36 hour period, getting almost a foot of water. That is way too much. And as we look at our potential velocity anomaly, we still have all that lift in our region all the way to the 13th of June. Then we have some possible dust moving through. And I am showing it will come through and suppress everything. So if anything forms after this time period, it will be far western Caribbean, even maybe far western Gulf of Mexico, the Bay of Campeche. Otherwise, the dust is moving through at this time. And even the Euro model is seeing this as well all the way to about the 12th and 13th. We still have all this lift, but after that, we're going to be dealing with some dust in our region all the way to the beginning of July, possibly. And I say possibly because this is just the Euro, it's just one model run, but we do have some dust coming through. So as you take a look at the update from the NASA satellite, you can see all the precipitation going up towards Florida all the way to Friday and Saturday for sure. Then you have this dust moving through, big high pressure. This is going to be sinking air, and this is going to suppress any formation of anything tropical while it's coming through. And it starts coming in real thick as you get towards that 10th through the 13th time frame. So all the lift will be leaving the area for a little bit of time, and anything that forms up will be far western Gulf of Mexico, if anything at all. And you can see this from the whole basin. As it comes off of Africa, it is a big plume of dust. It does take that northern track, as you see it going around the Bermuda High, but it continues to push to the west and push all this dust right on in. And if you take a close look right here, you can see that it tries to spin up a cyclone coming off the coast of Africa, but it just gets swallowed up with all this sinking air, all this dry air right inside all the way to the core. So the next wave that does try and come off Africa is going to be highly messed up. So I do believe after we dealing with this, that we have a little tropical break. And I did wait for the update from National Hurricane Center for the 8 o'clock, and it has moved up to 70% now within the next 48 hours. 80% in 5 days, but literally y'all need to take those 2 and 3 days. You need to take those to Tahiti. That warning is real. Nothing else changed. Still talking about it has chances to be a tropical depression, and that's about it. Everything else is the same information. And this 10% still isn't doing anything. But the cone did shift a little bit further to the north. Not much, but a little bit. But it confirms all the way up to Daytona Beach, right above Northern Spring Hill. All of y'all are in the cone for possible effects. But thank you so much for visiting my channel. I hope you have a very blessed day, especially if you've never been here before. And please share this information. Let others know what the true impacts are, guys, because this is going to be a lot of rainfall in too little bit of a time. It will be a significant event for Florida regardless. Thank you so much for all your help. Hope you have a very blessed day today. And today is such a beautiful day. Even though there's severe weather, there's issues going on. Today is a beautiful day. And I really feel like praising the Lord today. Amen. So today I'm going to read for you Psalm 16. Preserve me, O God, for in thee do I put my trust. O my soul, thou hast said unto the Lord, Thou art my Lord. My goodness extendeth not to thee, but to the saints that are in the earth, and to the excellent in whom is all my delight. Their sorrows shall be multiplied that hasting after another God. Their drink offerings of blood will I not offer, nor take up their names into my lips. The Lord is the portion of mine inheritance, and of my cup. Thou maintainest my lot. The lines are fallen unto me in pleasant places. Yes, I have a goodly heritage. I will bless the Lord, who hath given me counsel. My reins also instruct me in the night seasons. I have set the Lord always before me, because he is at my right hand. I shall not be moved. Therefore my heart is glad, and my glory rejoiceth. My flesh also shall rest in hope. For thou wilt not leave my soul in hell, neither wilt thou suffer thine Holy One to see corruption. Thou wilt show me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy, and thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore. Amen. Have a very blessed day today, guys. Happy Wednesday to every single one of you. God bless every single one of you and your loved ones. I will keep you updated on the tropics. You know I will. And all power, all glory does go to Yahweh, God of Jacob, our Father. And he will always keep us safe. Amen. Hallelujah. Have a very wonderful day.